Dustin Dunbar, the author of You're Doing Great and Other Lies Alcohol Told Me. even the title says it all. It's odd. You really visit the fact that you didn't have a sense that there was that you did feel better. And you suggest sort of in your book that there are cultural aspects to this, like the culture is telling you that this will make you feel better, or this will make you more of a man, or this will make you more. Speak to that too. There's a lot in your book, Dustin.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me on, Mark. And yeah, I guess this is consciousness. Consciousness is everything. And Carl Jung, started the whole collective unconscious. And we have come into this world that is addicted to alcohol. And it is a collective unconscious illusion, lie, that it benefits us in any way. And I had it, all my friends have had it. Everybody I talk to is like, yeah, I've always thought that drinking, moderately, responsibly, and socially was totally fine. And that's what I did. I was like doing great. I grew up really poor in the Midwest, Oklahoma, and then got into sales and just had tons of money flowing, and CEOs are flying me around on these beautiful golf courses, and they're making me do, tequila shots with them. And I'm up in first class thinking I'm drinking the champagne and living this amazing life. Right. And it just alcohol keeps lying to me. And gradually I just got addicted. Like with any addictive substance, after a while, it doesn't matter if you're the biggest, toughest rugby player, in the world, and you will at some point get addicted to an addictive substance. So yeah,
when you talk about addiction, just to draw that out a little bit, you are addicted in what way? Like, meaning, are you fall down drunk addicted? Are you just, I need a shot when I wake up in the morning, I need a shot with lunch? Or tell us how that addiction manifested in your life.
Yeah, I was never the, grab the bottle underneath the kitchen sink kind of person. There's different levels of addictions. There's mild, medium, and severe. 90% of the people who are addicted to alcohol are not in that severe level. There's that 10% that we think, the old school term alcoholic, that kind of thing. But this is what I'm talking is just using it as a crutch, using it as insecurities, using it for whenever, we don't feel good. Like just like when you were a kid and you had a blanket and you reach for comfort because you have anxiety or pain going on psychologically. And the thing that everybody keeps telling us, the 5 ads per day that big alcohol puts out, everybody in your life is like, oh, socially, and you see your grandparents, you see your priests, everybody's doing it. And it's like, we got to get to this where this is ethanol. The exact same thing. Alcohol and ethanol are the exact same thing. This is a highly 100% addictive liquid that we've got to start seeing it just like we do cigarettes. So hopefully we're going to start having that cigarette moment.
Yeah, this is a really good point you make. It's a tough one because, these certain cultural norms, as you know, are just almost impossible to shake. And so that's my comment on the side, although because I want to concentrate on your story, but your story speaks so brilliantly to that and the comment on the side and the way it's baked into the culture as a positive or as an accepted thing. So you really were living high. I mean, living high on the, meaning high in society, upper, kind of the upper tier of what you'd want in your life, right? What was take us to the reckoning?
Yeah, so it was a gradual, slow drip process where I just had bad things. I look back at my life and I'm like, okay, what parts have been not good? And every
right, exactly.
time, like,
if anybody shouldn't be easing pain, it's you. Tell everybody what you were doing. I mean, you mentioned it. You were with CEOs. You worked with Ryan's company.
Ryan Seacrest Productions. Yeah, they selected me as the LA Shrink. I mean, I had stuff. I was a model. I was an international male model in Milan. And I mean, you name it. My life has been amazing, but it's that whole cultural thing of, I did a year of being alcohol free when I was about 24 years old for my looks, because I wanted to have abs whenever I was modeling underwear in Milan and on stage and everything. And after that year, everybody was like, hey, the models and stuff, the vodka and the martinis. And I was in Italy and guess how many abs I had after I started drinking again?
Right.
Like one,
That's
and it was a big one.
but you realized I got to get off this stuff for more than just its physical effects.
Yeah, it's all psychological. So scientifically, it's 10 days that alcohol is actually in your body that after you stop drinking. After that, it's all 100% psychological cravings. And I was doing it because, like you were saying, abusive growing up father who was also addicted to alcohol. And I was masking that abandonment pain and I didn't know it. I'd gotten my doctorate in psychology, thought I had done all the work, everything, and had no clue and that I was masking this with this substance. And then whenever I took the Band-Aid off, there was this huge pain and scar, if you will, from childhood trauma, and it just surfaced. And so it took me a good.
And when it surfaced, how did it surface?
Yeah, it surfaced in tons of anxiety. So I had a what I would call an existential crisis, a spiritual awakening mixed with psychosis. It was a 3-day event that it bubbled and it got me. And that was after I was alcohol free for about, I would say, 30 days. And I was like, wow. I mean, it smashed me in the face. But to this day, it's the best thing that ever happened to me, because I am now able to look in the mirror and deal with this without reaching for joy at the bottom of a bottle. And that joy that I speak of is deep within me and beautiful, and it's eternal and love. And that is that joy that Jesus spoke about whenever he said that children, your consciousness needs to be like children to enter the gates of heaven. And that joy, if you look back at your life and our lives, I bet you see that whenever you were anywhere from like age 5 to about 12, your joy was just bursting and you're flying around dancing wherever you wanted to, weddings, all this stuff. But then alcohol gets involved and we think, oh, and the ego, and we sit there and go, we got insecurities, we got to mask it, we got to reach for comfort. And the only comfort that's socially accepted these days at social events and even promoted and pushed on you like crazy is this ethanol. So to remove that and to have this beautiful childlike consciousness and joy now within me that is just incredible is the best thing. And I'm just so happy that I'm where I am now.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly true. I mean, I would say to you that you're right. The joy of a child seems unencumbered by a lot of things that as you grow up, you sadly become saddled with. I'd also say, though, that, a lot of us grow up with anxiety. You did. I mean, your childhood, you can think back. I'm sure there were joyous moments, but if you're living in an abusive household, you live with anxiety. That's why that anxiety came up in adulthood, right? So I always feel as though we can recreate our present in our own way without having to, as you say, with eliminating those things. Toxins are a big part of our lives, and toxins can be human, right? We can have people around us that are toxic, But I love your story for the battle that you waged and how in control you thought you were, and then you realize, well, wait a minute, I'm not in control. I mean, this is I'm still a slave to this thing, to this substance.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where you just have to be so careful, because I know myself. I was blessed with a beautiful athletic body. I played college basketball. I didn't have any defects, that they talk about. AA, still holds on to the theory that it is only a certain class of people who get addicted. We got to scream from the mountaintops. All the new science out there, it's just saying blaringly that with the CT scans in the brain, that alcohol is 100% addictive to everybody, and we must treat it with so much respect. So that's what I'm doing.
So let me ask you in our last couple of minutes, AA has been around for a long, long time. A lot of people who are not religious, okay, Dustin, there are many people who don't believe that there's a God that exists, and they're not part of any organized religion, yet they're really, fine citizens, and they want to see an end to this addiction that they're experiencing. But AA doesn't work for them because AA is underpinned a little bit by what they would consider sort of religious notes. It's possible to get rid of this stuff, to change your life without having to, embrace some religious doctrine.
Yeah, I go into this heavily in detail in my book, but the point I want to make first is becoming alcohol free is not a competition. And whatever you need to do it, make it happen. AA is free. We are the AFR.org is the where I have my nonprofit organization that I created with a bunch of coaches and things like that. And it's free. So try whatever you want to try and get out there. With it free, just try it. If it resonates for you, great. AA did not resonate for me. It resonated for my brother. It helped my grandfather. So I have nothing but love, admiration, and respect for all AA members and what they've done. I just really want them to look at the science now and know that this is 100% addictive to everybody. And we got to stop telling people that it's certain defective people, that it's an allergy, and really look at that and evolve from the science of 1935 with what they had to now of what we're seeing with alcohol and ethanol.
You know, I love that you've put this together, and we're getting a lot of reaction in the chat. You may want to go back if you're listening to read some of these chat comments because they're good. AA is a tool. It's not an end-all solution. Every meeting and culture is different. As our sponsors, they have AA for atheists too. If you look it up, AA is one tool of many. Dustin's, again, we'll post it in the description if you want to just click through to Dustin's site. So many different ways. And as you say, the key is, hey, do what works. It doesn't have to be one solution. Here's a sad one. My youngest brother self-medicates as well, but with weed. He can't seem to function without it. He becomes abusive if you try to point it out. We no longer know what to do. It's very hard from the outside. I mean, this is one thing, Dustin, you realized your problem. But if it was somebody else, your wife or family, trying to say, hey, you've got a problem, sometimes that goes sideways.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like mixing oil with water. Once you reach a certain level of consciousness, and let's say you stop drinking, you can see where you were at with your partner, and you guys had this symbiotic relationship going on with that particular drug, whatever it may be. And you see the light and they haven't reached that point yet. It's very difficult, but we just, with coaching, it's all about setting boundaries and knowing where your boundary is and being very communicative, and where they understand, you understand, instead of hiding it and being resentful and angry. And one of the big things we say at the Revolution is anytime there's any kind of resentment or anger, just know that's a clear sign of boundary issues. And we need to get in there and help you communicate that. And so see it as yourself, your responsibility. So in your case, I would say, just keep setting boundaries and keep saying, hey, keep communicating, because you love your brother and you want to see him do the best he can.
The book is You're Doing Great and Other Lies Alcohol Told Me. Interesting to read from someone who has had so much and yet ended up in this place. And then that journey of self-discovery. I mean, it's really empowering in a way, in a lot of ways, because you realize that, you can do it. But you don't have to do it yourself. And again, I applaud you for wearetheafr.org, and we'll have a hot link to our to that in our description. Dustin, good luck with the book, and congrats, my friend.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you so much for having me on. Thank you for the support.
Of course. Dustin Dunbar, everybody. Hi, it's Mark, and I thought that was great. Hit the notification bell. You'll know whenever there's a new video being dropped, and please subscribe to our channel to help us save the universe.